Hello, welcome to Reader Questions number 17. It's been a while, several months in fact, since we did a Reader Questions because I haven't had any questions asked of me, really. At least not ones that were, like, to be mentioned, to be answered publicly. But this time, Closest Ostrich 7, a name you'll recognize from earlier questions, has come through with one or two, so I'm gonna bring those up. Firstly, what are some of your favorite elemental genres? So I presume you mean just basic genres of entertainment as opposed to, say, genres dealing with fire and earth and water and other classical elements. So, obviously, I like sci-fi and fantasy. Um, of the two, I probably like fantasy better to read and sci-fi better to watch. I also like a good comedy, particularly spoofs. Big fan of Monty Python and the Zucker Brothers movies. And also like spoofs that people don't seem to remember, like Johnny Dangerously. If you haven't seen Johnny Dangerously and you like a good spoof, go watch it because it's excellent. Um, so there's that. I like a mystery, but I like a TV mystery. I'm very basic with my mysteries. I mean, like, for me, the apex of mystery is Columbo. Strong character with entertaining guest stars and basically solutions always based upon the villain confessing when they realize they've been found out. I'm surprisingly simple when it comes to my consumption of entertainment. Secondly, how did you come up with Carter's full name and how is it pronounced? It's not said very often in the books, but Carter's full name is Cartero Catrascan Anasario Riendy D. And it's sort of a gag that he's got an absurdly long name. I think if you go through all of the supplemental material, you might run into a point where he mentions his parents are like named Herbert and Sandra or something like that. If I did the Sandra D joke, then shame on me. But so where did I come up with it? I wanted him to have a name that was a fairly standard name like Carter, but I also wanted him to have a name that was no person would ever actually have. So I just basically, as I was typing it, I was trying to come up with syllables that would flow. I very frequently will fill in things like that. Like when I had to come up with a number at random one time when I was a little kid, I came up with 5,674,892, and then it stuck in my head forever. And Cartero Catrascan Anasario Riendy D is another one of those where it just sort of formed as I was typing it out. I knew I would start with Carter, and I knew I would end with D, and I just wanted as much in the middle as possible. And incidentally, if you're wondering why he has standard named parents and an unusual name himself, it is heavily implied that Carter's parents were enthusiastic about recreational pharmaceuticals and thus may not have been really in the clearest, most lucid state of mind when filling out the birth certificate. So there's that. I had also asked, if you recall, way back in April, for you to tell me any of your favorite lines from my stuff. And Closest Ostrich provides this line from Wolof, from the very first book of Deacon. As entertaining as it would be to see you run in a screaming conflagration from my kitchen after falling face first into a fire, I am in no mood to clean it up. And I might as well go behind why I wrote that sentence. That's a favorite sentence of mine too, and basically it was an excuse to use the word conflagration. I really liked that word. Occasionally I'll go out of my way to use a certain word. Sometimes my editor shoots me down. Recently I wanted to use the word circumlocuting, which was, I refer to it as a Frank Zappa word because he uses it during the intro of a song that I won't even say the name of. But it turns out he was misusing it. Or at the very least, I was misusing it when using it in the same context he used it in. So you will not be reading me using the word circumlocuting. But that's that. So, with those questions answered, I invite you to ask more. And in the meantime, I suppose I should do some housekeeping. Not literal housekeeping, because actually the room's surprisingly clean right now. What I mean by housekeeping is basically promotion. So, if you've not been paying attention, then you will be surprised to learn that the third free wrench book is out. Icker well. It's done reasonably well, although I know no one has recorded a review yet. Now, it's longer than the rest, so it's possible that none of the people who read it have finished it. But if you have read it and you enjoyed it, please leave a review. If you didn't enjoy it, you can leave a review too, but I won't be as enthusiastic about those reviews. Other things that I could say, I am finished with the story called Between. This has been percolating in the background, and you'll find a big hunk of it in its very lightly edited form up on Wattpad. But I decided I am going to finish it, and so I did. It is a 200,000 word monstrosity now, and I don't know when it's coming out. I have to get a new cover for it. And also, I don't know where. It's like this is going to be an experiment because Between is sort of a mashup between sci-fi and fantasy, and that makes it hard to fit into a genre. And when it's something that's hard to fit into a genre, it's hard to sell. So I might have to market this one differently than I have in the past, which, among other things, means it might be going exclusive on Amazon just to give that a try. But to do that, I'd have to take it off of Wattpad, and that's going to, irritate anyone who follows me on Wattpad, of which there are very few. But we'll see. There's a long way off. I got to get Nick to do the cover, and that's that. Other things that are coming in the future. I'm thinking of finishing a little multi-chapter thing I did for an artist, sort of as fan art almost, called Pizza Dragon. I've mentioned it. That's probably not in the immediate future, but it might be a fun thing to do. And I'm also going to be writing one or two short stories in the Big Sigma series because I'm starting to wrap up a bundle of stories for a collection called the Big Sigma Collection, Volume 1. So if you have any ideas for short stories you'd like to see me write, let me know. So far, the #1 vote is for some sort of a military backstory for Silo, Garat, and the rest. Other people would like to see something written from the point of view of Squee, which might be kind of fun. And, but hey, if you've got other ideas that are better than those, or are as good as those, or are worse than those, let me know, and I will read them, and perhaps I will write them. And, aside from that, pretty soon I'm going to have to plan out Nanowrimo. Nanowrimo is probably going to be another free wrench book, because it seems like that's what I do every November these days. But I reserve the right to do something different. And finally, something I have forgotten to tell everyone, and now there's just a few more days to take advantage of it. If you do not own any of my books, if you are missing any of the books in my collection, if you go to smashwords.com right now and search for me, you'll find that every single one of my books is available either free or half price, and that will run until the end of this month, so just a few more days. Sale ends August 1st, so get your purchases in before then. And that concludes my video for today. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I will respond to them in the future. Thanks for watching, thanks for reading, and enjoy your day.